Hi, friends. Welcome back to On the Daily. I have a fun episode for you today. I'm going to be telling you kind of all about how to go from a 5 to a 6 figure business because I know this is something that so many of you are trying to do right now, and this is the year you're going to do it. And so I thought I would give you some tips on how to scale from 5 to 6 figures. Before we do any of that, I need to introduce you to my friends, Sandy and Wade. They are the hosts of the Getting Magnetic podcast, and they are another show on the Hype U Media Network. If you haven't heard much about Hype U, we are a brand new podcast network. Myself and my business partner Chase founded this company, and this is a podcast network created for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. So, Sandy and Wade, their show, Getting Magnetic, is absolutely a key piece of our network. They focus on love and business. Both of them are lifestyle entrepreneurs. They have some of the best energy ever. They're some of my really greatest friends. And so I love talking about them. I love talking about their show. They've been on this show before. I've been on their show before. And I think if you haven't listened to the Getting Magnetic podcast and you're looking for a show similar to mine, you're going to really love their show. Also, Wade is on a mission to empower dads. So he founded a brand new brand. It's called Big Dad Energy, and Father's Day is coming up, right? So the perfect gift for the dads in your life could be some Big Dad Energy swag. If you want to check out Wade's new company and see what they're all about, you can go to bigdadenergy.co, and then you can kind of get that dad in your life outfitted in some like epic dad swag. If you use the code HYPE10, that's HYPE10, you can get 10% off. I'm going to have a link in this bio. I'll put a link in my bio or a link in the show notes, rather, to the Getting Magnetic podcast, as well as a link to Big Dad Energy in case you want to check anything out. But I highly suggest you check out their show because it is absolutely amazing. Scaling from 5 to 6 figures. This is something that I think a lot of people want to do, and then they think that they have everything they need, which, okay, you do have everything you need to get there. And what got you to 5 figures is not going to get you to 6 figures. And this is something that I wish I would have really understood before I scaled from 5 to 6 figures, because I did a lot of things that I probably wouldn't do again. If I were to do it all over, which I guess I am currently doing it all over because we just launched Type U. But there are some things that I would do for sure differently. And so I thought I would share them with you because that 5 figure business, right? That business that you hit that 10K threshold and you're like, whoa, this is amazing. Or, maybe you're making, between 50 and 80,000 a year in your business. Maybe it's 10,000 a month. If you have 10,000 a month, that is a 6 figure business. But if you're trying to get a 6 figure month, right? So there's a difference between a 6 figure year and a 6 figure month. However, I just want to talk about the idea of going from per year a 5 to a 6 figure business. And this is huge because when I was scaling to like 5 figures, right? When I was trying to hit that, like that 5 to 8 to 9,000 a month range, I was really focused on just building my network. I just wanted to get into the ears and the eyes and the hearts of as many people as I could. So I was showing up at different fitness classes. I was going to networking events. I was putting myself out there. I was trying to be on other people's podcasts. I was trying to get into the networks of other people so that I could grow my network, which would grow my hot market, which would grow my sales. That was a big thing I was doing. And when I was really trying to scale to like that solid 5 figure business, I was working a lot. It was me. A lot of it was me and what I was doing and what I was trying to accomplish. None of that. I mean, it does apply to a 6-figure business, but when I scaled to a 6-figure business, I had those things on lock. So those things were just like a natural part of my routine at that point. And I was also starting to figure out like, okay, how can I scale? I was thinking about scalability. So I was thinking about how to stop trading time for money. And I was really starting to think about, how can I implement better systems in place? How can I start to get some automation going? How can I start to build up some MRR, which is monthly recurring revenue? If you don't have MRR in your business and the only way you make money is if you are showing up and doing something actively, then scaling to a sustainable 6-figure business is going to be really tough. I definitely think if you are starting to move from a 5 to a 6-figure business, the number one thing you should be focused on is, how can I scale this? How can I create passive income? How can I increase my MRR? That was big. Number 2, what I would do if I was moving from a 5 to a 6-figure business is I would double down on content. I would get really good at content. I would also be investing in a ring light. I would be investing in a good iPhone or a better camera. I would be really, really starting to think about my social media as a business tool and as kind of like my business storefront in a sense. And your business is your brand, right? It could be the actual business if you're a product-based business, but your Instagram gets to be an extension of that brand and it gets to be a tool. And really, when I was building to a 6-figure business, I was getting really good at content. I was focusing on who was my target market, who did I want to serve, how did I want to double down on that. And I was really speaking to people and creating educational, value-adding content consistently. Like most days a week, I was doing that. So I would say if you're trying to really move from a 5 to a 6-figure business, start to prioritize your social media. If you are trying to scale from a 5 to 6-figure business, tighten up your circle. This should have been number 1. This should have been the biggest one. Tighten up your circle. The friends that were the people that you confided in when you were moving to a 5-figure business are not the same people who are going to get you to 6 figures and beyond. And if you are taking advice from people who are not moving in that direction, you won't get there. This is why I created the Scale to 6 Mastermind. I have a mastermind that's literally for entrepreneurs scaling their business from 5 to 6 figures. And this mastermind is so powerful because in it are people who are trying to do the same thing. So you get to connect with people who are moving in the same direction as you, who are having the conversations you want to be having, right? Like when I was moving to a 6-figure business, like think about it. You start a business and you're scaling to 6 figures, right? Like 6 figures a year, 6 figures a month. 6 figures a year is a 7-figure business. If you're doing 100,000 a month, you have a 7-figure business. If you're doing 80,000 a month, you have almost $1 million business. You have a multi 6-figure business. But if you're scaling from that 5 to 6 figures, you have to stop playing small. Because if you really think about it, $10,000 a month, that is a 6-figure a year business. It is not hard. I know I'm going to burst a bubble here for some of you. It is not hard to make $10,000 a month. It's not. $10,000 a month is an easy number to hit. And if that's your goal and you're like, I just want to hit 10,000 a month, then you're not stretching yourself. You're not thinking big. You're still playing really small, which is why you're getting small results, which is why you're investing really small, which is why the people around you have small minds. If you're scaling to 6 figures, it needs to be bigger than like 10,000 a month. You need to be thinking 20. You need to be like setting your sights on something bigger. And the people that you surround yourself with are going to make or break that for you. And that is why I always tell people, like, if you're scaling a business to 6 figures, you need to be in a mastermind. Like 100%, you need a private mentor or you need a mastermind, because the conversations are different, right? It's not... You're never going to have a conversation with someone inside of a mastermind that's like, oh, you have a business. You're really trying to grow it to that much. Like, that's a lot. How are you going to be able to maintain that? No one's having those conversations. The conversations are, Well, yeah. I mean, when you hit 20,000 a month, you're probably going to hire a VA, and you're probably going to start to implement like, some SEO, and you might hire somebody to help you with social media. You might hire a copywriter, like who knows, right? Like those are the conversations you're going to be having. And those are the conversations you need to be having if you're trying to grow your business to 6 figures. The next thing I would absolutely do, if you haven't already, if you're scaling to 6 figures, is where are you investing? How are you investing in yourself, right? If you are reaching for, like, let me just give you this perspective. So when I was reaching for consistent $15,000 months, I was investing at least $1,500 a month on mentorship and coaching and personal development. I was going to conferences. I had a coach. I was in a mastermind, all the things. And I would for sure be doing that. And this is where it gets really crazy. So I have had people come to me and they'll say, oh, I'm trying to scale my business to 6 figures. I've had a business for a while and I'm just not seeing the growth that I want. I'm ready to double down. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to do the work. I'm ready to grow. And I'm like, awesome. I think you should be in my Scale to 6 mastermind. And then they'll come back and they'll say, oh, that's a really high financial investment. And I say, yeah. And if you're only investing in like tiny little courses here and there that you think are going to better, like if you're scaling to a 6-figure business, you are ready for mentorship. Yes, you still need some coaching. Yes, there are still some strategies to be implemented. Yes, there are probably some systems that you can create in your business that are going to really, really help you to scale your business to 6 figures. And what you really, really need is to be investing in things that are bigger for you, right? Like these small little moves, these small little investments, that's what's keeping your business small, right? If you want to scale to 6 figures, you've got to be willing to throw down. You've got to be willing to like jump in the pool with the people who are doing that. And that feels like a stretch every single time. The first time you invest in like a $1,500, like my mastermind is $1,500 a month. It's $9,000 for 6 months, which actually is very, very affordable considering everything that you get inside. Like I give you biweekly coaching calls. You get quarterly virtual retreats. You get like workshops on copywriting and on Facebook ads and on marketing. And you get like these workshops inside of there. You get a whole group of people that are going to hold you accountable. You get personalized support from me. You get Slack channel, you get resources, some guest coaches, some peer mentors. You get so many things within this mastermind. And for $9,000 for 6 months or $18,000 for a year, you can join it for $1,500 a month, which is insane and so amazing. And if you're scaling to 6 figures, that is where you should be. Those are the kind of investments you should be making because it's about staying power, right? Like when I was scaling to, like when I was trying to have like a consistent 5-figure business, I was kind of coach hopping, right? I was taking this course because this sounded interesting. And I was taking this course because that sounded interesting. And I had a bunch of different coaches and all the things. Then when I really was doubling down and I was like, oh, I'm going to scale this to 6 figures. And I don't think I ever said I'm going to scale this to 6 figures. I think I said, I'm ready to have a multi-million-dollar brand. So like 6 was like a stop, right? It was like a stop on the way to a 7-figure brand. And I remember a very distinct moment where I was like, I can't be coach hopping anymore. That energy sends the energy of lack and scarcity and that I'm not ready for consistency and longevity in my business. So I'm not going to get consistency and longevity in my business. So the way to kind of break through that barrier is by committing to a container for long periods of time, like a long-term high proximity or high support, close proximity container like a mastermind. That energy is universe. I know what I want. I'm buckling down. I'm grounding down into this container and I'm going to stay and I'm going to grow and I'm going to work with a mentor and this mentor is going to get to know me. That's a thing in my mastermind. Like I know my clients in there. Like I know their life. I know what they're doing. I know their pain points. I know their pleasure points. I know what they want. I know what their kids want. I know what their vision is for their family. I know the state of their business. I know where they're going to have it grow. I know their blind spots. That's the power of mentorship, right? My mentor, she knows what's going on in my life on a personal level so that she can help me to mirror what's happening in my business. She can like help my business grow because she knows me. And that I think is absolutely essential to grow a 6-figure brand. If you're not committed to a mentor who knows you and all you're doing are coaching programs that offer no personalized support, then you're probably not ready for a 6-figure brand. And that's okay, by the way. Like if you're at the point where you're like, oh, I'm just getting started, I'm just trying to scale to 5 figures, great. Take as many coaching programs as you can, right? Like take all 3 of mine. Take the Reckoning for personal power. Take Intuition Authority Power for running your business in an aligned way that doesn't lead to burnout. Take Zero to Launch to actually get a launch plan and a business strategy, right? Like take all of those. When you're scaling to 6 figures, you'll have already taken all of those. And now you're ready for mentorship. Now you're ready to come to me and be like, hey, here's where I'm struggling in my business. How can I get support on this? And then actually get personalized support. That's what you're ready for if you're scaling to 6 figures. And the longer you delay that and the longer you act like that's not what you're ready for, that's why you're staying small. That's why your business isn't growing. That's why you're not attracting clients, because you're not taking your business seriously. How can you expect to have a 6-figure, multi-6-figure, 7-figure brand if you're not showing up as a 6-figure business owner, as a multi-6-figure business owner, right? Like, I'm too afraid to invest in something big, said no successful person ever. No one that's successful ever said that. So these are like the things that I would do if I was scaling to 6 figures. And by the way, like you don't have to be at 5 figures to be with the mindset and to be implementing these things to scale to 6 figures. Like I have always known I'm building a multi 7-figure, 8-figure brand. Like I've always said I'm going to grow an 8-figure brand. And so these little stops along the way are really just stops along the way, but I've never allowed myself to get comfortable at like a level. When I start to feel comfortable, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for growth. And that's not in a way that keeps my central nervous system like high. It's in a way of just knowing myself and knowing that when I need to heal, when I need to dig deeper into something, I will do it. I will change the frequency. I will align with the higher version of myself and I will move, right? Like that's the biggest difference between somebody who's growing in a 5-figure and somebody who's growing a 6-figure and beyond business. People who are growing 6-figure and beyond businesses, they don't think about it. They don't dwell. They feel the pull, they make the move. They feel the pull, they make the move. They feel the pull, they make the move. They're not getting hung up on the fear. They're not getting hung up on their ego. They're just moving. 5-figure businesses, there is a little bit of hesitation. There is still some fear that wins, right? And you move through those things as you move from a 5-figure to a 6-figure business. I hope this is helpful. I highly suggest that you get into my mastermind. There's a VIP option with my mastermind that we just launched where you can actually get everything that I mentioned in the mastermind, but then also you can get some private calls with me. So this is a good step for somebody who's not quite ready for private mentorship, but still wants some like one-on-one support. This VIP scale to 6 option is a really good one. If you want more info on my mastermind, if you're interested in a mastermind, if you're ready to take that next step, if you're feeling the pull that it's time to grow your business in that way, slide into my DMs on Instagram, Danielle_on_the_daily. I will tell you all about it. I will answer all your questions and we can get you rocking and rolling. But scale to 6 is the mecca. Like the amount of growth, the amount of like power that you feel inside of this mastermind is so real. And the amount of growth, I mean, one of my clients just like fully bought a new place in this mastermind. Like another one of my clients just had one of her best months in business ever. Another one of my clients launched a full on brand and program. Like there's so much magic that happens into these things. And like $50,000 months are normalized in my world. Like we're not like, yes, it's kind of scary if you're not making $50,000 a month. You're kind of like, ooh, this is really scary. But like 20,000, 30,000, like these are normalized. We talk about them as if it's like easy, right? And it is easy when you align with a group of people, when you align with a coach, when you align with a mindset, when you align with a strategy that's going to get you there, when you start to implement MRR into your business, hitting 20, 30, 50, it's not hard. I mean, what will really blow your mind is like, I don't even think 100,000 a month is a big number. Like I don't look at $100,000 a month as like some crazy number. I don't feel like that's really hard. Like, I feel like that's not that hard to do. That level of mindset is where you should be reaching for if you are building to a 6-figure brand, right? Start to normalize these bigger numbers. You do that by putting yourself intentionally into spaces where those kind of conversations are being had every day. Okay. I love you. If you want more info on that mastermind, come into my DMs. You know where to find me. Check out our show notes for all links that are important and necessary. And I'll talk to you soon. Love ya.